Hey everybody, John the Other here, obviously. Now, if you've been watching recently, you might have noticed that I have been doing some like 5 to 8 minute long videos and then putting those on Patreon and then doing like a 30-second summary of the same topic and putting it on YouTube. This was going to be one of those topics, but it's a topic that is so poisonous and awful and the people so honestly spiritually repulsive to me, and I guess that's the right way to say it, that I did actually record something longer. It's not going to go online anywhere. I'm just going to give you the summary. White, liberal, anti-racist racists are incompetent, should stop what they're doing, stop listening to Robin DiAngelo and all these other scum weasels, go to a community college or a technical college and become competent by taking an advanced systems analysis and design course, one that is like 6 to 8 course credits and takes 2 semesters, and until you've done that, stop listening to race hustlers. That's the whole summary. That was going to be like a 10-minute long video. Well, there is a 10-minute long video that's not going to get uploaded just because the topic is so poisonous and awful and I don't like it. So let's talk about something more fun, like communism. I have been puzzled for the longest time, actually genuinely confused by the attacks on the concept of private property by, Marxists and socialists and communists and communitarians. I have genuinely been puzzled. I've had lots of conversations with, sometimes online, I've had conversations in person in my neighborhood with a guy at a table draped with a banner that said Communist Party of Canada, which seems shocking to me. That's about as obnoxious as having a table draped with a swastika saying, let's bring back the Third Reich. But there is this very weird hostility towards the concept of private property. And I've had arguments where a person would ask or claim that it was unacceptable to own 2 of something. Like, I have 2 bicycles. I commute by bike and I have 2 bikes. I have a very nice touring bike and I have another beater bike for going to parts of town where I don't want to get my bike stolen. And I've had people tell me that this is unacceptable, that you are not allowed, under their particular ethos, to have 2 of something because you can only use one of them at a time, and that my second item of whatever it is I have 2 of, and I have 2 number of things, should just be given away. Someone else is more deserving of it. And it's like, okay, that's really puzzling to me. Like, what if I have 2 suits of clothes? Or 2 pairs of shoes? Or 2 cars. I have a van and a car. A van for doing van stuff and a car for doing regular car stuff. No, not acceptable. You can only have 1. Or you should share one with your neighbor. And the idea of owning property, whether it's real estate or a bicycle or a car or a piece of shop equipment or whatever, there seems to be this very weird hostility, and I couldn't understand it. But then I realized not of course yesterday or the day before, but I've realized this in the last few weeks, that the hostility to property is based in the lack of understanding of there being such a thing as the individual. And that might be a little bit of a squirrel puzzle for a lot of people, although maybe you completely already understand exactly what I'm talking about. The communitarian, the collectivist or socialist viewpoint, and this actually informs a lot of the very overtly racist behavior of the anti-racists as well. There's a nice tie-in. Is that there is no individual, that every person is the idea of you being an individual with your own thoughts, with your own identity, with your own, your own sovereignty as an individual, is viewed as an illusion, as a falsehood by the radical left, communitarian, communist, social justice warrior mindset, which is why they're perfectly happy to degrade and demean, say, a black person using racial slanders like the word coon or the N-word, because they don't actually view people as individuals. Like, you're a malfunctioning representative of the category black person rather than you're an individual who I shouldn't demean and degrade. Same reason why they're perfectly happy doing violence against people expelling people from their jobs, terminating your careers, throwing people out of their family, like ruining people's lives, because that is only significant, doing violence to a person or ruining their life, if you see people as individuals. If you see people only as a token, like you're one screw out of a box of screws and you're just a sample representative of your category, then destruction of the individual actually isn't meaningful. It's just well, there's more. We still have BBs, we still have screws, we still have white people. The one that we killed, this one, doesn't seem to matter. And this goes back to why property doesn't matter, why there is this hostility to the ownership of property, because from an individualist point of view, which is to say my point of view, and I guess possibly the right, but mostly the libertarian viewpoint, that property is an extension of the person. Property is an extension of the body. And I don't mean like, my phone here is actually a part of my body. I mean that my phone is mine because I have worked and earned income using, ingenuity and hard work and my education and so on, and then transmuted myself, which is my education, my thoughts, my creativity and hard work and ethic and blah, 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 transmuted that into some element of money, and then use that to acquire, in this case, a phone or perhaps a sewing machine or a bread slicer over there. And so if we get rid of the idea of the individual, all the things that flow from the individual, which is like individual ownership of property, that disappears too. And this is, I think, why the social justice, communist, Marxist left has this hostility towards the ownership of private property, and why there seems to be casual acceptance of destruction of, say, a minority business, why they're perfectly happy burning a family-owned business that's owned by a minority or an immigrant family, while at the same time advocating that so-called Black Lives Matter. Anyway, just I guess another reason why that's a poisonous mindset we need to not endorse, not be a part of. Thanks very much for listening, and as always, have a lovely, lovely day. As usual, I forgot to do the whole, do all the YouTube things in the low bar and click the bell and blah, 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 blah. So, thanks for watching. As always, if you are not subscribed, you can hit the subscribe button. Don't smash it though, just click it nicely. Never did anything bad to you. You can also hit the bell notification so that YouTube will send you notifications of new uploads, although I actually don't trust that does anything anymore. And you can support the channel through Patreon and Subscribestar. And as always, thanks for watching and have a lovely, lovely